I am in a short pause here, and I want to talk about improvisation. I want to tell you what you don't understand probably about improvisation. But I am not speaking about the concept. No, I'm not speaking about the techniques of improvisation or virtuosity or something like this exercise. I'm speaking about the concept of improvisation, about the philosophy of the thing. This is what matters. And this is what matters first. People don't have a clear understanding of the relationship between improvisation and music theory. And this is so important because actually the only way that you can give an answer about this question of music theory and creativity, music theory versus composition. The only way that you can answer this is philosophizing a little bit about improvisation. So at least my take. But the question of music theory, probably if you are hearing this, I think you know. Everyone asked the question, how much do I need music theory, for example? Okay. So you need to philosophize a little bit about improvisation. And a good insight for this is, for example, you can ask yourself what is easier to do, if it's easier to speak or to learn grammar. I think this gives a very good way of understanding how things work in music. Because music is a language in the sense that it is at least a language. It goes beyond language, but it has a how is called this in English? Egal. I have 3 languages in my head, so sometimes I just it crashes total. Überschneidung. There is a point of similarity between grammar and music theory. Okay, that's enough to know. And when you go to this question, is it easier to speak or is easier to learn grammar and then speak? So then you have a good reference to handle all the challenges that you have when you are learning music or improving music. So it's not that when you speak you are absolutely not grammatical. No one would ever think this. And it's also not the case that you first learn grammar and then speak. Actually, first you speak and then you learn grammar. First you say mama and papa, and then after this you learn to write this. I don't want to radicalize the analogy between music and language, but this is very key to understand, okay? And this is the relationship between improvisation and music theory, basically. And if you get this, you get the secret to musical composition, in my opinion. Even if you are not an improviser, and even if you are not an instrumentalist, but it will happen that you improvise on the paper, so to say. If you take, for example, the composers who are good writers, you can taste this feeling that it looks that they can also improvise on the paper. In the sense that it is always expression and only expression. It is always communication first. So this is a very important insight, this question. Second, this question, I mean, what comes first, okay? What is easier? It's easier to speak or to learn grammar, okay? And then this leads to a second insight. When you improvise, you just care about what really matters. And when you improvise badly, it's because you are not aware about what matters. You just go like, I don't know, you go from nowhere to nowhere, from something to whatever, or from whatever to nowhere. Do you understand? But when you care about what matters, then you see that it is somehow easy, because what matters is that you build musical thoughts and musical meaning. Okay, for example, you said something, that's enough. If you have this, you have everything. And then when you focus on improvisation, then you even if you are not aware of what matters, you feel annoyed. You begin to do something that is not interesting, and then you are forced to put some questions, and then you go to the grammar and to the music theory, but then you come back to improvisation. This is the essence of thing. And then you begin to bring concepts to this, and the concepts, they come from the music theory. So, for example, in some cases you will not be able to find the best, or maybe your ear is not so decisive, and then to fill this void about what your ear can't say to you, then there is a concept that demands something. For example, like this clausel here. I think I did this, yeah? Okay. So in this sense, the concept invited me and said like, hey, here it will sound very good for this, because most of the time it sounds good. So that's like a regular a rule of the grammar, okay? But I don't focus on this the whole time. What I focus on is what I want to say, okay? Because otherwise it would be do you understand? So I come with the clausel the whole time, because this is the concept that I have in my head. So then it sounds not interesting. And some musical pieces, they are like this. The even some very complicated musical piece, they are just the macrocosm of this. So instead of focus on what one has to say, one feel too many voids with too many concepts, and then the concepts related to each other, without you wanting to mean something, to communicate something, and without your courage to communicate and to express, they will be empty. And what happens is that if you employ the concepts correctly, it's very hard to tell what is empty and what is just correct. Okay, but but it's also not hard to tell that this is not the most interesting or beautiful, because the communication will be always from emotion to emotion, okay, or from perceptual representations to other perceptual representations, okay, to sensual representations to sensual representations, or sensorial. You can also say sensorial. I am not I don't know how fan I am at this time of the philosophy of Gilles Deleuze, but regarding his concept of percept, this is so. I think he got it. He got it. So what you want, you have a percept and you communicate this percept to other people. Is this what you have first? And what is the percept? The percept is the aesthetic correlate of a concept. So you have science, philosophy doing concepts, and you have art doing percept. So is this representation that you conceive in your mind as a sensorial representation. But this is not only sensorial, this has an element of meaning and human presence in this. So it goes more complicated, the discussion about what is a percept exactly. But I think you can understand. So when you improvise, you are in the category of the percept the whole time. And when you are writing exercise of music theory, unfortunately, you are not in this category of the percept. Maybe more complex exercise. So what are the exercise of music theory for? Okay. The best way, there is many ways to see this, but the best way to answer, the most solid way, is that they are guides of how you should practice improvisation, or how you should they are they are there to tell you what is the essential. So because you do some exercise that you feel like that's not essential, so you learn by negation, so to say. Okay, you will do some things in music theory that actually they do not matter. And then when you go to the field of work in improvisation, when you put your hands in the work, then you have this direct feeling of what works and what not. There's many things to that, okay? So I should come back to talk more about this. But the key point here is it's easier to speak than to learn grammar. And another comparison is it's easier to speak than to write something. you can take I mean, from point of view of an authentic communication, it's easy to speak. Do you understand? Because even if you speak a little bit wrong, the presence of you speaking has a power that you lose if you just write a text and you also still do not master some language. Okay. So if you compare a bad text with a bad speech, the bad speech can be more powerful in the sense of communication and touching other people. If you need help or something, okay, so maybe just speaking, you get it, but writing, it can be confusing. So this is not against writing. This is just to say that something well written requires that you spoke a lot as well. And I am also not speaking against the fact that when you write well, then you improve your speech a lot. And this will be the point of music theory also, and of composition, of written composition. Because there is no doubt when you write, you organize your thoughts, and then when you speak later, you speak better. But the key is that when you speak, is that you have this sense of this clear sense of meaning and communication. And you have, when you speak, you have this clear sense of what are the basic ideas. And when you write, you can go crazy relating any ideas with each other until the infinite, like Hegel. So you get lost. You can get lost. So this is very powerful for musical composition. This insight, okay, that I'm showing to you. And still related to this, improvisation can be seen as the resume of the essential, okay, that you always have to with you. So it's like a bag with the essential things, okay. And music theory and composing with all the time, all the paper, all the possibilities. This is like being at home with all your stuff. Okay, and improvisation is like it's like the preparation of your baggage. Okay, you just have one bag behind your back, and you have to go to the mountain, and then you begin to think clearly, what do I need? And this is the powerful aspect of improvisation as the basis of everything else. So that's the point. I'm not speaking about against speculation, against very analytical composition or something like this. I am just trying to catch the basis, because principally in classical music this is not clear, and in popular music they live in the basis only. So then you have the problem is the contrary. The problem is that you never have the concepts really refreshing the musical language. That's another thing. But the point is that when you are in the field of music theory, and if you focus more on this than in improvisation, so how is your relation to musical composition? It will be very probably either lost, or you you are already a talent of musical composition, so you can perceive the damage that some things could do to you. So these things just do damage to other people who are trying to learn or trying to find their talent in composition. So it happens, for example, that while in music theory you have to focus on the, while in improvisation you have to focus on the essential. In music theory, you have this tendency to fly to unnecessary associations and unnecessary concepts, and unnecessary because you cannot relate them to your expression. It's not that the concepts are bad or the techniques. It's because you cannot find organically a relationship between these concepts and your true expression. And the only way that you have to have this balance between speech and grammar, between music theory and expression, is that for each group set of concepts that you learn, is that you go back to improvisation and you focus on the key points of improvisation and relate improvisation to these concepts that you learned. And then you have to pick the concepts that are the easiest to master and also the most effective. So that's why general bass and many things that are related to Baroque music, they are the key in this art, okay? Because they are very tight, they are at the same time powerful concepts of music theory, and at the same time also efficient concepts of improvisation. So that's why Baroque music works so well. Okay, I think that's enough. I just wanted to clarify the importance of this question. What is easier, to speak or to write? To speak or to learn the grammar? Okay, and what is the focus? The first focus is to speak. This is already enough. Okay, what is enough? Okay, and then from there you go to the next stage of art, and then you begin to relate each thing to each other. You begin to relate composition, music theory, improvisation, everything together, and then it begins to be quite at a similar level. And when you compose later and begin to write more, you have this reference of improvisation as the key element of the key parameter of correction, to see what was communicated and what was not. Okay, is this what I wanted to say, or is this is not? Okay, because when I improvise, that this is what happened the whole time. But when you are writing exercise, it's kind of, it doesn't matter. Okay, it just has to be correct. But the hell is when everything is correct in music, but you don't express yourself. So that's why many people they say they are stuck, because they do everything correct. Okay, it's correct, but what are you doing there? What are you saying there? So on the paper you don't have so clear, because most of the people, they don't write well on the paper. They cannot hear what they are writing. This is the whole truth. Okay, and then some who can do it, then when they write something for piano, it's absolutely not idiomatic. It's like a counterpoint exercise, because it was already very challenging to write correctly without any help of piano or of playing. Okay, so this is for a few people actually, but here I am talking about the intermediary average composer who is talented, but got lost in this overwhelming waves of information that we have regarding music theory. In most of the time, it's hard to say that they are wrong, but they are misleading. Okay, about the aim of musical creativity in the nature of musical communication, and what makes a musical fault. Okay, these elements you can test the whole time while you are improvising, and this what I speak here is not about concert improvisation. Just forget this. This is not my point. My point is that you have a good philosophical concept about the placement of improvisation in the musical education. This is what I care about. It's also not about your virtuosity. Yeah. I care about that you understand this. That you have the feeling that you say something. Then after you said something, then you elaborate this with more concepts of the music theory, as I did. For example, the answer in the dominant. And then you begin to have these things that we can maybe call fine art music, or the classical music of the millennial tradition of written Western music. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope this was relevant. Subscribe, follow, comment, like, hire me as a composer, teacher, or producer. Ciao.